Yes, indeed. Happy Hump Day. Hello out there. I'm Dr. Valerie Renee Shepard. I'm coming to you live from the Hartley Center for Mindfulness and Self-Mastery in the south of France. Yeah. How's it going? How you doing? The Hartley Center, where happiness, the way we teach it, is built on self-mastery, which is mastering you in your life so that you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. Self-mastery is the key to all the situational dynamics that come up, and going through them, experiencing them, expressing you into those experiences in as high a vibration and as much inner peace as you can possibly stand to have. It's really the key, because the situational dynamics are always changing. They're always changing. And they don't always show up the way, I don't know about you, but they don't always show up the way I want them to. There's always more for me to master in terms of how I am being in my life. Not the human doing nature of me, but the being. Who am I being in my life? Who am I being when I think I'm being me? What's my definition of me? Where did that definition come from? All these things that I'm absolutely positively sure that's me. Is it really? Huh. So that's what we do at the Hartley Center, is help people tap into their ideas of who and what they are so that we can help them create something real and true to live through and by, something that, what we say, serves them at the highest levels always. It's a dance with the distortions that we've been conditioned to believe are true. Boy, did I have plenty of those. And without getting into any form of blame or shame about where those things came from, it's just a matter of asking, is it serving me now? Is it serving me? It doesn't matter where it came from, when I had it implanted, how long I've hung on to it. But I've known this for so long, it's hard for me to let it go. Not really. It can be, but it's not a given. So happiness built on self-mastery, mastering you and your life so you can exquisitely manage whatever your life brings your way. And we anchor this idea of life in a spiritual container. So it's spiritual law, universal spiritual laws of the universe, and creating more peace, love, and joy on the planet. That's the mission. That's my personal mission as well. So I do these little Hump Day happy chats, quick little nuggets of, hey, this might help you. I do not profess to be the be all and end all of spiritual teaching. I believe there are so many profoundly gifted and talented and beautiful messengers sharing wisdom, truth, light. And I say yabba dabba do. I know that I leverage many of them, have studied many of them. I do know that what I am offering has been working for me and those who with whom I dance, in terms of leveraging something to create a life that they really love to live. And interestingly enough, and very important, that doesn't mean there aren't some pitfalls. You know, the truly inspired, happy, awesome life doesn't come without some other stuff. It's not a promise that we're making that once you kind of sort out the true you from the not self, and once you get on this path, as I teach in my book, to living happy to be me, that there's a destination called I am now happy to be me, and there will never be anything else. No, that's not what I'm offering. I am offering that through the practices, and when we've really made them an embodied and heartened practice that we can rely on through the goings and comings and the ups and downs and ins and outs, that we can rely on it. In other words, it's a place to fall into when it seems like the world's gotten heavy again, or when it seems like something has shown up that is not what I wanted, when it seems like things have gone in a different direction than the one which I was creating, which I said, this is what I'm doing. It's on my things to do list. Look, here it is. I've got my SMART goals, and this was one of them. So when these things kind of, whatever word you want to use to characterize the situation, derailment or, dark night of the soul, or whatever the words are, the idea is those things are often a part of the best lives as a means for the people living those lives to discover there's more for them to dance with as a part of evolving their consciousness, elevating their soul in the particular lifetime that they're in. And what I truly know, I don't believe this, I know this as an experience in my own life, that the teachings, as I've been living and expressing them, have served me really beautifully in this dynamic, 9 years worth of a dynamic of dealing with the brain hemorrhage and the things that are still, not possible for me to do, or so the appearance is, difficult for me to do, painful for me to do. If it weren't for the teachings that I teach and believe in, boy, I would be a grumpy and sad, forlorn, incredibly debilitated being. So to me, the teachings create the path. That's a contraction of path and avenue, by the way. Create the pavenue. I might use that. Through which something that I teach, transcending while including, can really happen. So I can include the fact that things aren't going the way I want in my life and still be at a more positive place than one might expect. So this thing about co-creating. So I think about co-creating. One of the recent Hump Day Happy Chats was about leveraging the power of prayer. And I love prayer. I do it every day, multiple times a day. And I offered you in that happy chat some guidance on a powerful way that I believe prayer is under leveraged. So affirmative prayer and how you put that together for the different dynamics in your life. And in that kind of prayer is this idea that I mentioned of you are a co-creator in your life. And I talk about it in my book, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. You're hearing a lot about the idea of co-creation. It took me a long time to figure it out, that I'm never alone. I've never been alone, although I chose to feel that way a lot. We're never alone, and we're not expected to figure everything out by ourselves. We're not expected to live these lives where we are just, I don't even believe in the idea of a self-made anything. I think all of us are being molded and shaped and supported and served by multiple beings. And so this one, who's on your team? Today's Hump Day Happy Tat is asking that question. Who's on your team? Do you know? Have you actually consciously assembled teams? And I'm talking about a mystical kind of multi-dimensional team, this mystical nature in our universe. And as a spiritual mystic myself, I'm really into schools of esotericism and things that are not easily explained by the five senses. That when you get out of the realm of what I can see, smell, hear, taste, touch, and get into the realms of intuition, intuitive knowing, revelationary knowing, things that can come to us without the sensory experience of them. That's pretty cool. And I continue to like be interested in, like very curious about, and to cultivate my personal relationship with that which is not explainable by five senses and intellect. These things are also known in the, third dimension common vernacular as woo-woo. That's all that means, is it's not easily explained by our left brain, which is not a bad thing. To me, that's a curious thing. It makes me want to know more. Well, then, how is it explained? So I'm dancing and playing in these questions and answers a lot, and I am not an expert by any means. I am a dabbler and a check it out, let's check it out some more. So, and one of the main things that I am on this quest to know is to have my own individually cultivated and nourished relationship with the divine, not needing any intercessionary, more than happy to receive some, but not needing one, not feeling like without a priest or a minister or a translator that I can't understand. And so wanting to cultivate this personal relationship with things that are not explainable necessarily by my left brain, I am actively engaging in these practices that deepen my direct experience of oneness, of union with the divine and with other aspects of the universe. So, insight, intuition, revelationary experience. I want to understand non-sensory things, like can I access higher realms? Can I receive in the earthly realm the things that I access from higher realms, otherwise known as bringing heaven into earth? Can I fill my body with the light and love of God so much that I'm bringing the heavenly realm of the divine into my earthly, somewhat dense experience? Like, I mean, that's wicked. To me, that's like, why would I want to do anything but that? And then the knowledge, the wisdom, the blessings that come in, like how do I expand on them and have even more and more juicy and deliciousness in my life? I think it's very cool and very empowering to know that I can have this direct channel and like see what else is possible. What more is possible? I ask that question a lot. I know what I'm doing, and I wonder what more is possible. I hope that you ask that. I encourage you to ask that on a daily basis. What more is possible? And then open yourself up to truly receive it, because asking is just the beginning. So as we're talking about asking, so one part of this for me has been the idea of who should I ask for? I know there's a biblical reference, so in Judeo-Christianity and the Bible and other places, this idea of ask and it is given. So it's often spoken about in that sense. So I've got that going on. And then I also have this sort of we are not alone idea for my esoteric questions. And I'm not talking about extraterrestrial, we are not alone. And that's been talked about a lot recently. I'm generally referring to others like fairies. I'm really into fairies. I've been told I have fairy energy, and I really do believe it. Um, but fairies, gnomes, elemental beings. Yes, I talk to trees and I talk to plants, and I especially love talking to hummingbirds and bees. I like talking to bees too. I don't hear them say words back to me, but I feel their energy, their essence. I think the more I open myself up to it, the more it comes in. So, in this question of who's on your team, who's on your team? So, I believe hummingbird, my animal totems are on my team. So, my animal totems are hummingbirds, herons, and hawks. And so, as I've gotten into understanding what could they stand for in my life, according to different traditions, Native American and other traditions, when I see them, when they come to me, I feel like they're bringing a message. It's my job to interpret, and I look for ways that that message is just for me in that moment. Maybe for millions of others for whom they are a totem as well. But for me in that moment, that little hummingbird is telling me something. That great blue heron, just love them, is telling me something. And so, one thing that I've gotten so much better at asking and receiving in my life is from the angelic realm. Who's on your team? I suggest the angelic realm. In Abrahamic religious traditions, so that would be Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, some other sects like Hinduism and Buddhism, there is a belief in angels and their supernatural spiritual abilities. And in the monotheistic world, so there is one God, a supreme being, and everything else is underneath that supreme. Angels are these beings that are right there underneath the level of the supreme being. You can look on YouTube and all over the place. There are informational and instructional videos about how to work with the angelic realm. And I'm fortunate enough to hang into these circles where I personally know people who work with the angelic entities. I regularly call on archangels in my different spiritual practices, different facilitation realms. I call in the archangels, I call in the seraphim, the cherubim, and I'm just starting to work with those last two. They're like in the top hierarchy underneath God. And I mean, again, scratching the surface. I know people who have PhDs in angelology, and there's no way I'm going to be able to tell you enough about that right now. There's one message I wanted to say, which is when you think about your team, when you think about wanting and receiving help, when you're looking at, okay, why isn't this happening? What more can I do? I ask that a lot. I'm a doing person. I'm learning to release that doing nature to be a human being instead of a human doing. What about you? When I go deeper, it's all about asking for a different level of help. And that is what I call hiring the big guns. Hiring the big guns. So regardless of what you're working on or what you're aspiring toward or what you're dancing with, there's probably a time and place where you can call in the big guns. And by big guns, I mean beings that are not restricted to the conditions of the third dimension called Earth. So beings who can operate at a higher realm, have a higher vantage point, like my higher self, can see things at a level that you can't when you're in the third dimension, unless you're going there through your intuition or another non-physical aspect that you've cultivated. So I started doing this as a corollary to prayer. So I pray affirmatively, and then I call in specifically my different teams. I have an orchestration team that I'm constantly talking to. And that team has angelic presence that has specific things on it. So there's someone who masters the calendar and the element of time on that team. My orchestration team has got a couple of angels who are specifically tasked with making the dots connect on a linear basis in the third dimension. I have a stress relief angel who soothes me for however long whatever's coming to fruition takes and reminds me to surrender into the timeline, like surrender into the timeline. So, as a part of this kind of cultivation in myself of letting go of the belief that I have to do it on my own to prove how worthy I am, or to prove how intellectually capable I am, or to prove how what a strong woman I am, or to, whatever I would be proving by trying to go it alone. And I've done that so much. My spiritual counselor suggested I read this book. And the book is called Hiring the Heavens, Developing Working Relationships with the Spirits of Creation. Ooh, I love that title. And it's by author Gene Slatter. And it's about proactively engaging the right celestial helpers. And the book is easy to read and filled with practical, actionable guidance to help you set up and manage celestial teams. So whether you're trying to manifest dreams, find a soulmate, Jean talks about all of these things. Improve your finances, real down to earth. Simply get through your day without stress and worry is what she says. Whether you're trying to do any of those tasks, Jean says the heavens are ready to help. And there are many teachers who say, in fact, the largest body of angels can't help unless we ask. In emergency situations, yes, angels are there to rescue you. And they do, even without your imploring them to do so. In situations that are just typical day to day, they're waiting for us to say, I'm giving this over to you, angels, figure this out. I need some help with this financing, angels. Show me where I should be going. I'm not sure about this relationship and how I should be engaging with it. Give me some guidance. And here's what I always say, and make it on a first grade reading level. And I would love it to come to me with ease and grace and gentle. Give me my lessons as gently as possible. The heavens are here to help. So if you're one of those who said yes to the questions in the little summary, are you perpetually going it alone? Do you have trouble asking for and receiving help? I would encourage you to let your guard down, to open yourself up to the many ways that the non-physical aspects of the universe, nature, angelic, heavenly realm, can support you with guidance, with a feeling of somebody's helping me stand tall, helping me feel hope. Somebody's giving me a light for a path I'm walking right now that feels like it's in the darkness. Somebody's got answers for a question that I am not so sure I know what to do with. So, what's it for you to do? You could buy the book, and I get nothing from suggesting that book. It just came to me yesterday, or not yesterday, last week, that this might be a good topic, how to hire the heavens. And since there is a book, why not go get it? Jean certainly teaches it better than I could around this whole idea of, well, who do I ask and where do I go and how do I receive? And I love the whole idea and the intention process that I do teach about giving it over, allowing the work to be done without my getting in the way and tinkering with it. And I haven't mastered that yet. I am learning how to, the mudra for giving and receiving, divine giving, give it over, and then receive what comes next. Give it over, and then receive. So, hiring the heavens is the point here. We'll talk more about this in subsequent Hump Day Happy Chats. And in the meantime, Jean Slatter has some beautiful wisdom for you. The most important thing is to remember that you're never alone and that angelic help has to be asked for. So every time you're doing anything, if you're just walking to the park with your dog, you could say, angels, come along with us and let me know your presence by, dropping a 4-leaf clover in front of me. Or I'd love to have a miraculous experience that includes orchids. Like, I do stuff like that, not because I want to test them, but because I want it to be really cool when I know that they're there. And I have said this many times lately, and I'll say it again. My angel teams deliver magic and miracles into my life multiple times a day, every day, guaranteed. I never question anymore whether they're here or not. And as a result of that understanding within me, I am seeing my life through a completely different lens and experiencing magnificence and beauty everywhere. Yay! Thank you for tuning in to this week's Hump Day Happy Chat. I'm really grateful for your presence, and my intention is that you get some beautiful golden nuggets that support you to live happy to be me. And that's me is an acronym. It's for magnificent essence. And so to be talking about these sort of esoteric things completely lines up with your essential nature. You are much more than human. You are an integrated, spiritual, human person. And when you bring that aspect of you to life, in your life, wow, it takes on a whole new ray of light. So many blessings. Thank you for joining us in the Hump Day Happy Chat. We always close so far with the Karanaya Sutta, the prayer of loving kindness from the Buddha. And it goes like this. May all beings be peaceful. May all beings be safe. May all beings be happy. May all beings awaken to the light of their true nature. Your true nature is so much more than human. And may all beings be free. Many, many blessings. See you next time. And I would love a like and a share. Create a ripple effect that serves the planet. Many blessings. Bye now.